So I hope we find everybody well. Hopefully, crazy world right now. We'll get through it. So, put the Fairlane back inside. I didn't do one thing this last summer. I may have talked about a couple things, but I never did anything. I never had the time. It was very hectic last year, and it is kind of again this year. So I'm going to remove the fuel filter from beside the engine. I wasn't happy, and it was temporary when I put it there, and I wasn't happy with it. So I am going to move that, and it's going to go on the driver's side below the driver's door. There's a good area there that I can get to the fuel line, and then I can make a bracket to hold the fuel filter. I'm going to be using a Summit fuel filter. They're metal. Let me see if I can show you. Get out of my nice easy chair. So what I plan on doing is hard to do this one-handed. Hang on. Okay. So I'll put that under the car. And I'm going to install a regulator pressure switch on this car. I got to build a bracket for it because your fuel line comes up here from the fuel pump, and there is a bolt here, hole that I can make a bracket to come up here and hold everything right here. And I plan on doing that tomorrow after my wife and I have a Easter dinner. So that's what I plan on doing. I put an Edelbrock 600 Edelbrock on here, Performer, and the intake. And after watching various videos, I realized that the Edelbrocks run about 4.5 to 5 pounds after they're happy, so you don't flood the fuel bowl and dump raw gas into the carburetor. So a standard fuel pump on this car, 289, 302, 351, should be somewhere between 6 and 9 psi. I need 4.5 to 5.5, 4.5 to 5. So I'm a little over. So my worry was that I've had trouble tuning this carburetor at times. And I'm getting a little popping out of one side of the exhaust or the other, whichever side I get the jet off on it a little bit. I've used a vacuum gauge on it. I've tried all sorts of stuff, and I get it where it's happy, but happier when it's cold than warm. So this is just a normal problem with an Edelbrock and a lot of other carburetors. So I'm going to try adding the regulator, which will bring me to 4.5 pounds. It's set at 4.5 right from the factory. It's a Holly, and I'll put the fuel gauge on there so I can watch it and make sure I have that there. Then I'll go back and I will retime the engine and then put a vacuum gauge on the carburetor and see if I can get it to be a little better. So that's what I'm doing that, and then I'm going to continue, and you probably can't see it too well, but I welded in a piece of metal here, and I just put some fiber strand over it. I'll grind that down. I have to clean all the channels out. They're all 50 years of junk in them. And then I've got on the bottom of this door and the bottom of the fender, I have a small patch to weld in on both those, and one on the back of the door, and one that you can't see, just a little tiny hole right there I'll weld in. Now, the trunk is really good on this car. I did find although I did find one thing that I was completely amazed with. This car had been hit at one time here, and it's tough to tell, but they pulled that back or added a. It's hard to tell. I think from what it looks like is they changed the quarter on that car. And they did a remarkably good job because it's never rusted or anything. So, but underneath you can see where it was straightened. I found a couple places it looked like where they pulled it. Now it goes down the road straight. It doesn't rattle. It doesn't track. The guy I bought it from didn't know it. He had bought the car and drove it for years and never had any problem with it. So this is that 67 Fairlane. And you can see where up here under the, it was rotten. Under the vinyl top. So I put a piece of metal in there and I put some glass fiber strand, whatever you call it, over it. I'm going to sand that down and get it ready. Actually, I think I want to try to coat the whole, I'm going to treat the roof with rust killer, make sure there's no rust, no lingering rust problems in the pits. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, what was I going to do? Oh, I'm going to try not to, it's been a long day. I'm going to try not to put the vinyl top back on it because some of the trim is not the best on the vinyl top trim part, the one that runs behind the window. So I'm going to skim coat that. There's a couple little pits in there. See if I can get the pits out by putting a skim of body fill on it. I've got some yellow body fill that's real thin, and then what I'll do is I'll probably use a primer. It's a filler primer, and then I'll have to sand it, and then I'll see what it looks like. You know, the body work comes out really well on that, which I'm no expert on body work, but I can get things level and straight, and that's what I think I'll do. I may just paint the top white and not put the black vinyl top back on it. I saw a couple without it. It kind of looks good, so I might try that. I worked on the wheels a little bit the other day on this side and got those Craigers, and I still like the Craigers on this car. But I'm not, I think I'm gonna leave them with the Craigers on this car. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this car. I really enjoyed this. I had this car when I was a kid, the same style. I had a 66, this is a 67. I really enjoyed the car. My other one had a 289 in it, and I pulled it out and put the 302 out of a Ford pickup in it. And my other one had a 4-speed on the floor. This, of course, is an automatic. But I really enjoyed it. But I may move this car down the road after I get the things I want to get done on it. And I have too many projects. I just can't keep up to my workload at work, my workload at my own business, and other obligations I have. So, yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to let this car go. Now, if somebody wanted the car, once I get all the sheet metal straight and the roof painted and stuff, somebody could have this car, I suppose. I just don't have the time to keep playing with it. I want to get my rat rod back in. I got to do some work on my 52, and I got to do some work on my 66. And I mean, I got some other cars that I use and drive that never make my channel, but so that's where I am. So I was sitting here before I made a video, and I was thinking I may set this one free when I'm through with it. But I will do a good job. I'll get the, as you can see on this side, I got to make the patch the same as the other side, and I'll get it in, get it welded in. It'll be good and solid. This is where I put the patch on this side. Oh, there's my chrome falling down. Good and solid. I put metal back in it. So, okay. So, and then I'll probably get it all done. I want to drive it. Who knows? But I need to spend some more time on the rat rod in the 52 step side, the 66. And I can't balance all these projects. So, that said, I'll shoot a video tomorrow after and show you where I'm going to install the fuel filter. I'll get the regulator in place, set up, fuel lines hooked up, and I'm gonna see if I can get this. This motor's happy anyway, but I want to get it so it's nice and smooth. It is smooth. I shouldn't say it's not smooth, but it's just bugging me. So I'm going to add that just to put my mind at rest on that. So, okay. Hey, have a happy Easter. This is night before Easter. Like the comments. Please like and subscribe. I guess that's what I'm supposed to be saying. Every time I say it, I pick some new ones up. If you have a channel, subscribe. I'll return the favor. We're all in this together. So yeah, if you like old Fords and you want to see some more content, let me know. Maybe I can get a little more in detail on how I'm doing things. So appreciate the views, and I guess that's it for tonight. I'll talk to you tomorrow.